All right. So last night when I was working on this, I set it up for 100 epochs. Basically, 100 epochs is kind of means like iterations, like 100 cycles. Think of it as cycles. So the model has been training since last night, and I realized I kind of made a mistake. So if we look at this so far, what we can see is that it started off with an accuracy of 77% for the training data and 94% for the validation data. So far I let it to train for 40 epochs. So about 40 epochs, then I'm like, well, this is taking a long time. First of all, like this has been running for about 12 hours right now. It's taking a long time. And one thing I've noticed is that the validation epoch is kind of leveling at about 98, 97, 98, 98. So it's kind of like fluctuating back and forth. So one thing I'm going to do right now, and one thing about this is that this training is not saved. So basically, next time I want to use this model, I have to train it again, and I do not want to do that. So right now I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do the two things. First, implement a callback function so that whenever the implement a callback function so that whenever the validation data reaches 98% accuracy, the training will be terminated. And also I am going to implement saving the model after every epoch. So actually epoch, so that next time I will just load the model without retraining it. So those are the two things I'm going to implement today. And I think I'm going to have to run everything over again. Once I've implemented those things, then I will have to restart this training process. And hopefully by tonight, this training will be done. Looks like it takes about 18 epochs to get to 98% accuracy. So hopefully by 6 p.m., 7 p.m. ish tonight, this training will be done, and then we can come back and keep working with this data. Keep working on this project. So that being said, let's go ahead and do those things. So first thing is first, like implement the callback function. So let me look that up real quick. So this is implementing a callback function to terminate training once training reaches 98% accuracy for validation data. And to do this, we do class my callback, and then in parentheses we do TensorFlow.Keras dot callbacks dot callback. Actually, just know that. All right, and then we'll create a definition. And if we go to the TensorFlow documentation, I'm going to leave this here because I'm going to need this in a little bit. If we go to the TensorFlow callback. So if we go to the TensorFlow callback function, you'll be able to see what's happening. Right, so these are like kind of like the parameters for callback. On batch begin, on batch end, on epoch begin, on epoch end. So these are like the different things you could do with the TensorFlow callback function. But let's go back to the code we are writing so far. All right, and then oops, and then we basically, to write this, we'll do if logs dot get. Well, I want an epoch end, so let's go back to this. Let's say on epoch end, I want this like when validation data is above 98%, not just the accuracy data. Let's see. On epoch end, okay, so on epoch end, epoch logs is equal to none. Got at the end of an epoch during training mode. Okay. Logs, dictionary, metric accuracy, no metric results for this training epoch and for the validation epoch if validation is performed. Validation result keys are prefaced with val. All right, let me see. Can we view an example for this? All right, let's see. Let's go back here. Okay, so our validation, okay, so when the validate, for us to tell it specifically validation accuracy, we have to do val accuracy. All right, so instead of just accuracy. So if we go back here, basically for us to do this, we are telling it like when the logs of the validation accuracy is, actually this needs to be in quotation, validation accuracy is greater than or equal to 0.98. Now, okay, so I could even do this better. For me to do this better, I could do something like validation accuracy is equal to 0.98. So when it's greater than or equal to 0. Or equal to the validation accuracy, which we defined earlier here, then I want you to print in a new line, reached desired validation accuracy. So counseling training. And then you want to do self dot model dot stop training equal to true. So basically with this class that we just defined, what is supposed to happen is that when the validation accuracy is greater than or equal to 0.98, then this model is going to stop training. That's how this is supposed to work. And if you're watching, just let me know in the comment section below. All right. So if we go back to this callback function, it tells you, so you need the epoch and then the logs, and then validation result keys are prefixed with val. So that's why we are using val here. So did they even provide any example here? Okay, let's hope this works. If it doesn't work, then we'll modify this a little bit. But let's go ahead and shift enter this. And let's go ahead and control save. Right? And now for this third part, for the second part of this, which is implement saving the model after every epoch. Actually, I need to call this class. So I'm going to be like callbacks is equal to my callback. So this is just me implementing calling this class. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and save the model. So now I implemented a callback, which means once it gets to right around, let's say 18 epochs, then it should cancel training, because that's when we get 98%, and all of this should be saved. So if we go back here to model.save in TensorFlow, hold on, let's see. Okay, I just want to make sure I have the right things imported. If you go to model.save, it tells you how to do it. So it says TensorFlow.Keras.models.save model. Okay. Let me see something real quick. So model is a model instance to be saved. The file path override include. Okay. So then how do you implement this? So how do you use this? Like there's not an example code. Give me a second to see if I can find an example code of how to use this model. How to save a model. Because this is the code to write it, but how do you tell the model to save during training? But just give me a second to find this. I'm sure there's some code. I'm sure there's like something that will show how to get this done. I think we might use like a callback function to implement this, but I'm not quite sure. So let me check something out real quick. I was looking at something earlier that shows how to save a model. I just need to find it. Okay, so I was just watching some kind of video that showed how to like save a model. I don't remember where I saw that. I feel like half my job as a data scientist is just looking up answers to solutions and just looking up code to problems. Seriously. Okay, so just model dot save. Okay, so okay. Let's Google this real quick. How to save TensorFlow model. Okay, so we need to do this to save models in HDF5 model. So I do not want to install this right now, so I think I'm just gonna save it in the okay. So this callback saves the model weight. So callbacks is equal to this. Okay. Let me share. Um. Hmm. I want to see how to use. This is kind of showing how to use a checkpoint to save the model. So models.save model. I want to see an example of how to use this, not how to. Let's go back here and see. Mm, this is not helping. Yeah, none of this is helping. I kind of wanted to see like how to use this right here, and this Google is not helping me right now. I think this is the place we just came from. Yeah. Saves a model. Okay, let's try this. Let's try implementing it first and then kind of see what's happened. Let's go ahead and copy this code and paste it here. So TensorFlow.Keras.models.save model, and the model here is called model and file path. So let's create a new so file path is equal to let's create a new folder called saved model. How about that? All right, now let's go here and find the home, copy path, and let's put this here. Of course, this will throw an error because of a Unicode error. It's going to throw a Unicode error, so you need this R to make sure the computer knows this is a string. All right, so TensorFlow.Keras.models.save model. All right, And then we have the file path defined. Override is equal to true. Include optimizer true. Save format equal to none. So for us to actually save it as HD5 something, so if you go to save format, it's either TensorFlow or H5, indicating whether to save the model to TensorFlow, save model, saved model, or HD5. So what is the difference? So what is the difference between HDF5 and TensorFlow? So TensorFlow, so HDF5 versus TensorFlow saved model. Okay, so there's nothing here really telling us the difference between the different file formats. I guess it's one of those things we just have to learn from experience, right? Yeah. All right. So it's one of those things we just have to learn from experience. All right. Let's just go ahead and run this. All right. Let's see what problems are we having. Let's see here. OS error. HG. Unable to create file. Unable to open file. Name equal to this. Error number 13. Error message. Permission denied. Flags equal to 13. O flags equal to 302. It's always fun to Google error messages. Alright, so I have to Google this error message and kind of see. Actually, let's go here. So it says TensorFlow save model. Alright, so somebody else already had a problem. Let's see what's going on. Alright, let's see what they have here. So alright, so Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So basically, there's a lot of people having the same problem, but nobody is actually giving up a solution. Nobody's actually providing a solution to it. It's just everybody listing their problems. Yep. Something here. Okay. So is this do so this is not helping either. Let's go back. Let's go back here. Let's see. Um so nobody's kind of providing a like a clean answer to this. A lot of people have the problem, but nobody's providing a solution. Checkpoint, model checkpoint, safe path. Okay. Verbose. Okay. Something similar to mine. Reduce learning rate is equal to this, and this. Okay. Yeah. So I'm having the same problem. Alright, so I don't know what's going on. Let me just go ahead and shut down my kernel and try this again because I kind of don't know what's causing this problem and nobody on the internet is helping right now. So let me go ahead and shut down this kernel and let's say restart kernel. Alright. Let's go ahead and run that. Run this code. Let's go ahead and run. Actually, I wanted to do something. I want to load this in batches of it's 37,000, so it's going to take let's just leave it. Alright. Alright. Okay. Let's go ahead and execute this. Model.summary. This is the summary for our models. dot compile, and let's run this again. You see if we can get, you see if, yeah, we still get the same unable to create file. So okay, so it's not like, let's keep looking and see if we can find like a solution. Multi-processing equal to false. Okay. By using a generic file name. Okay. Okay, so basically this person says they solved it, but they didn't post the code that they used to solve it. What's the point of telling us you solved it, but without telling us the code that you used to solve it? Let me try this. Include optimizer. Oh, I did. All right, let's see here. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this and let's try this. And let's run this. Multi-processing equal to for syntax error. So okay, we have a different. So this is, so that's not even part of this. So Keras one of the following. It says string path where to save the model. It's an h5 pi.file object where to save the model. It's a string, okay? It's an associated path where to save the model. It's an h5 pi object where to save the model. So basically this is supposed to be an h5 pi dot file object. This is not very helpful because it doesn't give us an example code of how to do this. this is supposed to be the export directly. Example usage. Okay. M is equal to the model. Hmm. Do. Mm. Hmm. This is not helping very much. TensorFlow 1 version of this. Saved model serialization not yet added. It has to be one of the following string or path we have to save the model. So this is kind of like I'm loading the model. Alright, so do I need to, let's say, specify, I don't know, TF? Is this going to make a difference? Specifying the save format. Oh, well, that worked. Like specifying the save format works. Okay, that's strange. So now I need to assign this to something. So model saving, call it model saving. It's equal to this. Let's run this again. All right. So now that we've now that we figured out how to save our model, right? Now let's implement these two right here. So basically now when we do the model.fit generator, that's where we put in this callback that will stop training when validation accuracy reaches 98%, and also save the model after each run. So let's go ahead and implement this and run the model, and then we kind of see info TensorFlow access written to this. All right. So let's do callback. Let me see. So here you do callbacks equal to in a list, then you put in your callbacks. So we are going to put in this callbacks, which is callbacks, and then let's put this on the next line, and then also model saving. All right, let's go ahead and run this and see if we run into any errors and fix it. And if we do not run into any errors, then I will go ahead and leave this and let it run. And once it reaches right around 18 epochs, it should stop training, because that's where the validation accuracy kind of reaches 98%. And also it should stop training, and then this model should be saved into this folder. Okay, the model should be saved into this folder, and once that's done, next time when we come back, we can just load the model from this folder and be able to do things like get the history and accuracy of it, without having to run this. So in the future, I'll be able to use this model over and over and over again to do different things without having to train the model again. So that's why I'm trying to figure out a way to save this model. So let's go ahead and run this and see what we get so far. All right. Well, got a problem already, so that's good. Let's see here. Callbacks equal to callbacks and model saving. All right. Let's see. Callback list dot set model, callback model. Non-type object has no attribute. Set model. Okay, that's a new error. We've seen that before. I don't know what this means, but I'm about to find out. One of the best things you could do as an engineer, as a software engineer, is see, I'm not the only one that has this error. Is to learn how to Google stuff. Seriously. see if any of this will help. Okay. Let's see here. Model.save weights. Okay. Alright, I don't know what's going on. That's not helping. Model.compile. Okay. You shouldn't assign model.compile as it doesn't return anything. Instead, that line should read just model.compile optimizer equal to Adam. Okay, so my optimizer equal to Adam. Loss equal to that. The model is none. Okay, that's all right. Let me copy this. The model is none, and let me put it here. So maybe the problem is that I need to compile the model again, like after doing my callback to stop training when it reaches 99%, and then after saving the model, maybe I need to compile it again before doing this, because it's like the solution is saying that the model is none. So let me go ahead and save all of this and let's go ahead and restart the kernel and just reset everything, and let's run it again from the start, from beginning to end, and let's see what we get. And I don't have like any questions coming in, which is fine. All right. All right, let's get the summary for this model that we built. That's the validation accuracy, the file path. All right, and let's compile this. Now let's run this. All right, so this was working until I added this. So let me go ahead and remove this. Okay, and let's run this again and see where the problem is. So things are working. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this because I actually don't want it to train. Okay, so this is where the problem is. The problem is right there. Huh. Mm. Okay. Okay, so I need to figure out more about how this um model saving works. I need to figure out how this works. Um, give me a second here. Actually, I'm looking at an example code here that just does let me go ahead and stop this temporarily. And I'm looking at a code here that's just did model.save, and then it does here rps.h5. Let's run this code and see what happens. Oh, you just saved it as that? Or do I put this code right here so it saves it automatically? I don't know. Let's see. So that's basically it. So this live stream was mostly focused on doing a couple of things. It's like one, implementing a callback function to stop training once we reach 98% accuracy on the validation data, and also figure out a way to save the model so that next time when I'm working with this, when I'm working on this project, I can just use the saved model instead of training all over again. So yeah, so hopefully one of the, it's either this or this will be able to save the model. Next time when I come back, like this evening, when I live stream again, I'll let you know how the model saving process worked, or if it didn't work, or if I figured out the best way to save a TensorFlow model. I mean, I watched a YouTube video on it, but the YouTube video was vague and wasn't really helpful and didn't explain stuff. But anyway, once we come back, we'll be able to like graph the loss function and the accuracy function for both the training data and the validation data. So fingers crossed, and let's see what happens, right? All right, that's it for this video, and I don't see any questions here, so I will live stream again tonight. And then during tonight's live stream, we'll work on some more stuff. So yeah.